joining us?
Nah, maybe somebody would join in later. I have. Alright, here we are. We are live, and we are going to be watching Maggie Mae Fish today. So this is going to be fun, quote
For
unquote.
me.
It's going to be a delight.
Yep.
Oh boy.
I am so excited. I'm so excited.
So I will copy that. What? Oh. Kind of just mute yourself. I thought you were about to say something.
No, I was eating something.
Live. Oh boy.
This is going to be so interesting. I've actually never seen RoboCop.
The original or the remake?
Either or.
Oh, the first one is great.
I've heard good things, yeah. I just know that, like, what she is saying should make any rational person go, what?
Well, I am now curious as to what she is saying.
May God have mercy on our souls. Oh. Alright. Hey, send out the announcement to the Discord, so maybe we'll have one person show up.
Maybe.
Oh, no. Digital film sheet. Sorry. Hello there. Welcome to hell.
Mm-hmm. Aren't you glad I brought you here?
Me or White?
White.
Sure. Alright, let's, I guess if we have nothing else to say, we should probably get started. Get the announcements going. And then we can get started. Dunce?
Yep.
Are you gonna... Huh?
What? Am I what?
Are you going to announce it? You always announce your part too.
Oh, I just announced it in Smart Boy first. I'm doing it again over here.
ROBOCOP and Revenge and an analysis. Oh boy.
Oh boy, it's 21 minutes too.
I know. Dunn recommended me this one and another one, but I was like, I gotta go this one since I know RoboCop more.
Well, actually, like, Earth Days Part 2 includes 3 things: Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings, and how it all relates to daddies.
Daddies?
Yep.
You know, the things she never had in her life.
Yeah. The other Daddy's Part 1 is Infinity War and Man of Steel.
Oh,
and how
God.
those are bad daddies. But the bad daddies are sympathetic. This is gonna be so fun.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I am looking forward to this.
Oh, I am too. Right. I've seen this video before. I know full well how much crazy this is.
All right, let's get into this, shall we?
RoboCop.
No, I'm done.
Damn.
It's
All-
like I
all
hear
they
her
need-
voice, and my pain has returned.
You've only seen one of her videos.
Okay, let's actually get to
I
this.
never really used to get the 80s. It seemed like just a lot of cocaine and hair. But then I saw
Oh, okay. The 80s were nothing but cocaine and hair. You know, I should write some of this stuff down.
Okay, come on. That was a joke. Let's see her actually make a point.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, the problem is most of her
RoboCop,
jokes are
and I
bad.
hmm
saw
Those are-
something more through that hair. I saw an incredible film. We've all heard about its anti-corporate message and its ultra-violence. But let's dig deeper. Put on our film school hats and ask how the visual grammar, editing, and pacing function in RoboCop. Now, here's a list of things I like about RoboCop. The visual match between Officer Lewis and Murphy. From the first moment that we meet Officer Lewis, she is a visual and symbolic match for Murphy. Their hair, their complexion, their build, and especially their attitude.
Why don't you drive?
They're equals. Murphy and Lewis are two peas in a pod. Fast forward to the scene where RoboCop starts questioning his past and Lewis confronts him, we see this shot. Lewis looks directly into the camera, directly into RoboCop's visor, as she says,
Murphy, it's you.
Because Murphy's looking directly at Lewis, who is a visual match for him as she fills the frame, she functions as a mirror.
What?
She is the it to which Murphy is identifying. This
Pause
is a
that
key
for a moment.
What?
I at first I kind of thought like, okay, maybe she's onto something, but at the same time, I don't know whether that was just coincidence or not on the part of the filmmaker. That they do have this similar build. Like, obviously the fact they're dressed alike is that standard police uniform.
Uh-huh.
But
I
have no
don't-
idea what the hell she's going on about.
I get what she's going on about because I speak moron like very fluently, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I think she may be pulling this out of her ass. Like, I can't.
Oh.
The reason why I can't say definitively if she is or not is RoboCop is a smarter film than most people would grant it credit for. There is an intelligence to it. So
Oh,
that's why I can't say definitively you're full of shit.
But would you say that? Oh, well, it'll come in a minute, but it's gonna be really funny.
I'm just saying on this point, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. It's gonna
Um,
get bad. It's gonna get definitively nuts in a bit. It's gonna be great.
All right.
Oh boy.
in Murphy's quest to regain his humanity, empathy, and identity. It's incredibly rare for a male action hero to have an equal female counterpart, especially because she's acting as a mirror for Murphy and not a fetish object. And does the
What?
fact that his mirror
Wait, hold
image is
on.
a woman mean RoboCop?
A fetish up. What? The fuck?
Fetish.
And we fell off a cliff for me already.
Here's the thing. Like, she's wrong because there are a bunch of movies like that. Hell, GoldenEye was one of those where Natalia Natalia starts off like the weak damsel in distress, but she does grow into her own as the movie goes on, becoming not an equal to Bond, but a very useful asset to him.
Edge of Tomorrow does not have any fetish object woman, and that movie is awesome.
Actually, going back to GoldenEye, you can argue that the Bond girl in that is not a fetish object because she's a fucking computer programmer. She's actually very homely looking for that movie. Although I may just be thinking about the Nintendo 64 game.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
As a trans icon,
What?
Wait, hold on. What the fuck?
Ring that. Whoa. Rewind, mister.
Wait.
art. especially because she's acting as a mirror for Murphy and not a fetish object. And does the fact that his mirror image is a woman mean RoboCop is a trans icon?
What?
What?
His mirror image is a what the fuck you what? Hold on. Okay, Tark, explain.
Me?
You said you speak stupid.
Okay. I guess you know what? She's right. RoboCop is a trans icon because RoboCop went through a literal transformation. So yes, by default, he would be a trans icon, but not a gender swap, HRT, whatever the fuck you. Transsexual. He's not a transsexual icon. He's a transformative icon. Yes, I get it.
So
Icon?
Yeah.
yeah, well, I think it's basically just like the reflection of a woman, and the fact that the woman is his mirror means that he is a trans and man and woman, and also like there's gonna be some weird stuff.
Well,
Where the hell
wait,
does he get this from?
wait.
Is she on some mushrooms or some shit?
No, she's just stupid.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
Not necessarily, but it's a reading opened up by the sequence of shots. But in any case, it's a miracle in itself to see a male action hero identifying with a female peer.
What?
No,
How,
no, it is not
how
a miracle.
I'm sorry, but when people do this, when they watch these kind of movies, when they think, I know a lot of it is thinking back, but do they even bother to rewatch the movie to prove that they're wrong? Obviously not, but there's a lot of this where they'll say, oh, this person was just a sex symbol in this movie and did nothing else. It's like, no, there was a lot of character to this. I can't think of a specific example off the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about. They reduce it to its base elements.
Fanatical tactician, MMF, Maggie Mae Fish. No. Hee hee hoo. I gotta spread this because this is funny. I would love EFAP to cover this woman. They would be there for hours. And Rags at least would be screaming, aiming all kinds of obscenities at her.
I don't know what this insane woman from retardation is from.
I would just love to get one of these women on who, and like, assuming they don't just not keel over, but they don't, what's the word? They don't play nice. Like they're actually assured of their conviction. Like they are really believe in their conviction. I would just love to tell them, not now, the men are talking.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll just spin in a circle and fucking die or something.
That's why it'd be worth to do it.
Well, you haven't seen, well, okay. This person is not as bagged. This person is named Witten Folly. They call the throne room scene in The Last Jedi a metaphorical womb.
What?
It's really weird. It's really weird.
Let's stay on topic because we can only have one brain aneurysm per video.
Well, maybe you can.
Yeah, let's keep going.
The boardroom long shot. Special effects and cyberpunk are cool, but this seemingly simple, single, long take, which clocks in at just under a minute, ties the film's themes together in one dynamic shot. From Bob Morton's overly aggressive, overly loud corporate jockeying,
"Don't mess with Jones, man. He'll make sushi out of it,"
to Dick Jones describing the friction between OCP and the cops,
their union's been bitching ever since we took over. You know, the usual nonsense.
to the company's proposed plan for Delta City, which will bring those forces into violent collision. It's the kind of long take that you don't even notice because it's so seamless and natural. It crams 3 small scenes into one fluid shot. I count about 20 actors hitting complicated marks, delivering fast-paced corporate dialogue. And to top it off, we get a sense of the space in the monochromatic, high-tech boardroom. This shot is the beating heart of the film. Michael Bay would need 15 different edits, a bunch of fancy graphics, and as many as 3 different crop tops to tie together a scene like this. Corporations can't feel. One weird little tick that this movie has is the way that RoboCop rattles off bizarrely insensitive, out-of-touch advice when confronted with innocent people before he's come to terms with his identity. He tells these kids,
"Stay out of trouble."
"Oh, great advice, robot bro. Way to vaguely threaten children." Or the way he interfaces with this woman.
No.
Stay out of trouble. I'm so threatened.
Surely you guys had the like the police officer come to your school, like as a kid, talk to you about drugs and alcohol and whatnot.
No, not really.
No?
Not really.
Really?
Partially because I didn't go to high school.
No, this was elementary school.
I didn't get I left school at first grade to get homeschooled.
Okay. What about you, White? Did you?
No, I never really got any of this kind of stuff.
Okay. We did, but when I was a kid in 5th grade, we got the whole lecture about, like the ironically Ronald Reagan don't do drugs shit, if you know what I mean, like the war against drugs and alcohol and whatnot. And essentially these cops came in to scare you, to tell you that you're going to die early and we're going to lock you up while you're ODing because you did drugs. Like, it's that kind of thing. So what RoboCop's doing is really no different than what the Reagan administration told these cops to do.
It's also not that bad. He's just saying, stay out of trouble.
Because they're seeing the consequences.
And stay out of trouble is a good thing to say.
Well, that's your opinion.
That's racist.
Well,
Damn.
no, it's not. He's in Detroit. It's fine.
Yeah, isn't that city like a war zone all the time?
That in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, at least we're making good time. Like 3 minutes in, 17 minutes in.
Well, she hasn't said anything, really
Insane.
offensive yet.
Yeah,
Madam,
true.
you have suffered an emotional shock. I will notify a rape crisis center.
Not exactly the emotional support she needed in that scenario, but it's a perfect analog to the way that soulless corporations are simply incapable of mimicking true humanity. Compare that to how RoboCop speaks when he actually has his mask off.
Murphy had a wife and son. What happened to them?
We see this today in even subtler ways, how fast food companies try to appropriate the language of weird Twitter.
What?
So next time you see a company tweet out a meme, I hope you read it out loud in RoboCop's stiff, goofy voice. Try it at home with family and friends. Every frame a critique of capitalism. If there's one shot that perfectly portrays
For
the
Christ's sake.
Capitalism? You mean robbers?
in-story relationship between the average people of Detroit and the people who hold the power in Detroit, it's this one. And it's another example of how Verhoeven uses complicated film production techniques to get across the...
Wait, so capitalism bad because criminals run muck amongst the city?
She's also going to make the comment, and I know she is, about how Cybercore is, making the police corrupt, is doing, what's it called, gentrification. She's going to hit all the fucking marks. You could just know it.
Yep.
The movie's complex themes in striking, simple to understand visuals. By using an attachment called a split field diopter, the subjects on both the left and the right of frame remain in focus, even though Emil, on the right, is way closer to camera than the gas station attendant on the left. But it's not just a cool trick. It also allows Verhoeven to frame the attendant on the left as small and powerless. He's trapped behind what looks like a cage, imprisoned by his job, encased in machinery, an unwitting agent of capital. And on the
I don't.
She said, I get what she's saying. She's saying he's trapped as this wagey. He's trapped in his cagey. Like, literally, that's what she's saying. But in the scene, I'm pretty sure he's studying like some kind of physics or something. He's trying to study I guess, some college textbooks. So it's kind of like, yeah, but there's always the opportunity for advancement to make something better of yourself.
Yeah. Maggie's a liar.
Is she going to bring that up, though? The fact that he's
The right-
studying something?
I don't think so.
Let's find out.
Emil is an imposing figure that takes up more than half of the frame. He's a fascist black shirt, figuratively, and
I don't remember anything about fascism.
I think he's just a dude.
He's just a common criminal.
Yeah, he's just a common criminal. Fascism is a little bit different than common criminality. It usually involves governments and policing wrong things.
If I think about this too hard, my head would probably explode.
pretty much literally too. An agent of the same corporate culture that imprisons the gas station attendant.
What?
It's only left-
He's
Wait,
a criminal.
That's there for his protection. That's bulletproof glass. Hell, there's a gas station right next to my house that's very similar to this.
He doesn't want to get
He's
killed
a
by
fascist
straight
black
bullets.
shirt, figuratively, and pretty much literally too. An agent of the same corporate culture that imprisons the gas station attendant.
Okay.
So capitalism is fascism. That's hilarious. I forgot about this.
Yeah,
This is why Death of the Author is such bullshit.
Yes.
Mm.
And yeah. Also, postmodernism is for dogs and insane people. Those are the only people who find it useful.
Oh my! It's like, oh, I guess capitalism is fascism. I guess. Okay. Yeah, it's because dictatorships are the same thing as All right, let's move on. Fuck this.
It only lasts a moment, but what a mind-blowing shot.
Fuck you.
Existential question time. What is a cop? I think the movie
Um,
wants to capture what we hope cops are, what we want cops to be. Morally pure, selfless, heroic. And time again, the movie
Well, that's unrealistic, but okay.
Yeah. It's
challenges that hope. We see ED
Pause that for a moment.
209.
Here's the funny thing. RoboCop 2 would actually be much better of a question is a much better movie to actually pose that question because the Detroit PD is completely fucked in RoboCop 2, and even RoboCop gets really fucked up in RoboCop 2 because they give him all these new directives that screw with his programming, and it's like, here's what we want the cop to be. That is not the question in RoboCop 1, but it's a much more appropriate question in RoboCop 2. I just find that ironic.
I never seen RoboCop 2 in a long time, so it would be hard to make that prediction.
I've never seen it. I'm just watching this video. I've never seen either movie.
I'm just saying, like, ironically, she has a point, but in the wrong movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, she definitely did.
Oh yeah, no, she did.
Who represents the complete lack of humanity that cops are.
Oh, okay. I gotta ask the question: why did they put live ammunition in this thing for a test?
Well, how are you supposed to know it works?
It's basically we're working on Starship Troopers logic here.
No, it's Starship Troopers. It makes a lot of sense because that's just a totalitarian thing.
Oh,
In the movie.
Well, they have live rounds in a training thing rather than using like
Rubber bullets or something.
Rubber bullets, and dude gets killed because of it.
That's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure the reason why they put it in Ed 209 is one. I'm pretty sure later in the movie it turns out that they wanted that one director dead.
They probably did, yeah. Probably wanted to murder him.
Yeah.
Capable of. We see it in the collaboration between OCP executive Dick Jones and the criminals. Boddicker's gang basically acts like a private little SWAT team for Jones, executing his corporate agenda. And those same cops who acted as the voice of reason.
Okay, there's a corporate. There's a slimy corporation, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier
Yeah.
in the movie,
Well, I'll tell you what we should do. We should strike.
by the end of Act 2, they're lining up to blow RoboCop away. Some of them voice their concerns,
Hey, wait a second! Get a cop, for God's sake!
but ultimately they cannot escape their positions as enforcers in an unjust system. So what is a cop? Well, RoboCop is a cop. ED-209 is a cop. Murphy is a cop. These good cops are cops. This asshole cop is a cop. The bad guy gang members are cops.
No,
Oh,
No.
No.
No. Maggie, no.
So like the random gangbanger across the street's a cop now.
I would love to see like body cam footage of an actual cop like in a SWAT van holding a suspect outside of it going, "Can you fly, Bobby?"
Yeah.
I also would love to see a cop from right now, a good one. Watching this video, I think they would probably scream at the screen in fury.
Oh, what's this? We found a bag of weed in your car, ma'am. Care to explain how that got there? Ironically, I don't think they'd have to plant anything.
Okay, that was pretty stupid. Let's continue.
Overall, the film complicates the idea that cops always equal good because it understands that
You literally made criminals cops. I don't think you're qualified for this.
Yeah, Maggie is basically one of the Twitter Nazi crowd. And I say that unironically and with no guilt whatsoever, because they are basically the Gestapo of our time. They just don't have political power yet.
that cops are human, and humans are historically known to abuse power. What's in a name?
Okay.
There's a really interesting back and forth in this movie where we see Murphy's name, we hear Murphy's name,
It's you.
but we also hear RoboCop's name
There's a new guy in town. His name's RoboCop.
and see RoboCop's name. So is he Murphy or is he RoboCop? Well,
That's the
Whoa.
question.
There's a lot of doubles in this film. Murphy and Lewis, Boddicker and Jones, Detroit and Delta City, ED-209 and RoboCop. But ultimately, what the movie is saying is these distinctions don't exist the way we want them to. And the final line in the movie,
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy.
followed by the final RoboCop title card, shoved that idea right in our face. Binary choices make us feel comfy, in control.
Oh no. He said the word.
What the hell is she talking about?
We're about to get into some crazy, aren't we?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I think we're already there because I don't know, have a fucking clue what she's talking about. And the reason why it ends on RoboCop is because that's how movies fucking end. You end with the title of the movie.
That's your opinion.
That's
Whatever.
racist and horrifically fascist Nazi speak, White. You should be canceled.
No. Hail Hydra. Nothing.
Hail
help us or-
Jordan Peterson, Red Skull.
Organize the universe. But in reality, it's hardly ever either or. RoboCop is trapped between binaries. He is
Murphy.
but he's also RoboCop. He exists in the space between human and machine.
Okay. He's like, well, I mean, you, brain. No, it's going to continue.
Between employee of the evil corporation OCP and servant of the public good, constantly navigating his own identity. Just like you and me. But seriously, Lewis is a badass.
I didn't catch that.
Just like you and me.
What the hell is she talking
But
about?
he's also RoboCop. He exists in the space between human and machine, between employee of the evil corporation OCP and servant of the public good, constantly navigating his own identity. Just like you and me. But seriously, Lewis is a badass.
No idea.
I would run slow motion across a field to be wrapped up in Lewis's arms. It's rare that
What?
you get a well-written female-identifying character in an action movie.
Oh, all right.
We're pulling this bullshit.
Yeah, we are pulling
I
this BS.
am so sick of this fucking argument. Just because you can't write a good female lead doesn't mean other people can't.
Also, here's the thing. I imagine there are a lot of good female leads in action movies.
I know people who can write good female characters.
Like
James Cameron, Ridley Scott.
The people who made Everly with Selma Hayek. I haven't watched it, but I've heard that's a pretty good movie, which basically just this like Selma Hayek gunning through the Mexican mafia.
So
Yeah.
if a cop kills a gays, it could be tried for killing a fellow cop. That's the real question.
Yeah.
She's starting stating the obvious.
Yeah. They once did right. Yeah. And then they made Force Awakens and
Everything's been downhill from there.
yeah.
I wonder how we got here.
Another I think another like serious like death knell was freaking Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh,
That
The less we talk
movie
about, the
is-
better. I never even watched it, but I just hear how terrible it is. I'm like, no.
I've only watched EFAP coverage and I was just like, oh, these jokes are awful.
Joker said it best. Women can't be funny. And they certainly can in that movie.
Rare that you
Yeah.
get a well-written female-identifying character.
No, you're just
Oh,
blind.
I
You're
love
just
I love
deaf.
that she said female identifying rather than female. Did you notice that?
What does she mean by that? The female identifying?
You need to clarify that they aren't a female identifying as a male because the world is just a complete joke.
Basically, it's that you identify like you, me, and Tarek by their logic identify as a man rather than we intrinsically are men.
That's your opinion.
I wish it was.
I don't get any of this. It's so.
I don't understand the world anymore.
Yeah, aren't you so happy that like I brought you a realm of stupid you didn't know existed?
I am, because I live for this kind of bullshit. I do. It brings me such joy to know I'm not the stupidest motherfucker on this planet.
Let's keep going, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
In an action movie. And if this movie proves anything, it's that it's not that hard to write strong ladies.
Yeah.
It kind of is, actually, based on the number of pathetic failures we see nowadays.
No, it's not. It's not hard. Again, people are just retarded. That's the problem. They are just downright retarded and have no idea how people act.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe I should qualify. It seems hard because these idiots make it look hard when it really isn't.
Yeah. And what the was that?
What was that beep?
He has a soundboard too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. Dark, go yourself.
Already doing it, buddy. You want to join in?
I guess I
laughing
have
at
to
the
be
train
inclusive,
wreck.
so you know.
I'm just laughing at the train wreck. This is great.
Like, has she never watched any other movie from this era? Like, has she not watched Terminator?
She watched Rambo. She has a movie about a video about Rambo, and it's really bad.
Does she have a video about Terminator, Aliens?
As far as I know, no.
She has to be perfect. She has to be purposely blind to those movies to say shit like this.
You know who was a good female character? In all honesty, I like Marion from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I like Marion.
Marion's great.
Hell,
No,
even
this is
even-
the only female character that was done right. Shut up. You're wrong.
also, even though she was technically a Nazi, Elsa was not a bad character either.
Yeah.
Elsa? Oh no,
Yeah,
from Frozen.
No,
I didn't know that
from-
she was a Nazi.
Elsa,
No, from the
From-
Last Crusades, from Indiana Jones.
there were like I honestly think that Maggie was one of those people that was pulling for Elsa in Frozen to be gay,
You know she was.
and then like the film goes about like serious queer baiting through the whole movie, and like it's Disney, they're never going to do something like
Oh, they're
that.
never going to commit now.
Yeah, because Disney's kind of like Disney's not like HBO, where HBO kind of can go like whole hog on some of the woke stuff. Like with Lovecraft Country and Watchmen. They don't care. Disney will like try to do like the most partisan stuff ever and never commit, and that will always be frustrating to these people because they want like their idiotic ideology.
You remember when
represented.
everybody during season 8 thought that they had a lot of politics in Steve and Dan, like
Oh
feminist
yeah,
politics. Like, oh, you poor bastards! If only you knew that the
they are
identitarians are a higher level of intelligence than those two.
Yep. They are literally too stupid for
Gender politics.
for gender politics. like they say, no, they are sexist because how they treated Daenerys. No, they're no. Think dumber. Think dumber.
Like during season 7, they thought they were very woke because of like all of the women happened to be in power, but that's just because that's how it happened, and it's not any political reasons. It's just because
they're really stupid and bad at writing.
And anyone who's failed should be utterly ashamed. But really,
oh, you have
So,
like
in-
every modern movie to blame.
It's basically like Ruin Johnson,
Ghostbusters
Yeah.
2016.
J.J. Abrams.
Plank.
Oh yeah, the Captain Marvel. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to the next Captain Marvel movie. I'm not watching it. Even
Like
though it
there's
has
a netter.
Oh yeah, they're making a movie called Marvel, The Marvels. And it's gonna have Emilia Clarke in it, and I'm just like, I will not watch this. I don't care if Emilia Clarke is in this. This movie's gonna be bad. Why is Emilia Clarke's agent an idiot when it comes to picking blockbuster movies? First it was Terminator Genesis, and then
Gosh, what a poor woman. She's really just getting shat on. Like her best role, it just got fucking annihilated. And now she's just getting really shit roles.
Yeah, this is.
I gotta tell you, Rambo Final Blood was 100 times better than motherfucking Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah, because Terminator Dark Fate is a trash remake of Terminator 2.
It's like it's so simple. They just all they have to do is just make a future war movie.
They try. I don't even understand why they didn't do that with Salvation. Like they touch on it, but they never commit to it.
No, I mean it was supposed to be a series, but I guess corporate chickened out or something.
Yeah,
because I think it was supposed to it was going to start in the early days, and then we are going to get like movie 2 or movie 3. We were supposed to get the laser rifles and everything.
Well, that's the major thing. Terminator is a dead franchise. There were 2 good movies, and everything else is trash.
I like 3. I think 3 is fine. As a follow-up, no, it's not good. But on its own, it's good. It's fine.
I like a lot of the parts from Salvation. Don't kill me.
I like Terminator 3.
Okay. It's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the third movies are usually very disappointing, but then the fourth and fifth movies are usually terrible.
The fifth one, Jesus, tap dancing, Christ. I like that one, but just because it's quite clear no one knew what to do with this franchise, so they said, "Hey, why don't we do a bunch of stuff?" And none of it lands.
I was thinking Alien 3 is apparently like disappointing and odd, but
and then 4 is just a complete train wreck.
Oh yeah, 4 like with the freaking stupid alien human hybrid thing that the director thought about make it have the genitalia of a man and a woman, and then he decided, no, I probably shouldn't do that.
Thank goodness.
And ironically, that's what happened. I wish I were lying.
All right, we're gonna
keep
continue.
going.
She's incredibly smart, capable, funny. She's like the women I see in the real world and that I look up to. She also doesn't shed her femininity like many other 80s action heroes. For example, James Cameron's female leads, who are his
Oh my
God.
Wow.
Holy fuck, you are the dumbest person alive. Go fucking die in a hole. Jesus Christ. You don't know what writing is.
She doesn't know what humans are.
Yeah.
I revoke your humanity card. Now we can purge you. Okay.
I revoke her woman card. Now we can just be assholes without being called misogynists.
Yeah, because apparently, like in a situation, like, does she even know the context behind? Okay, what's back this?
Also,
heroes.
Also, have you not seen Edge of Tomorrow? Emily Blunt is really, really, really hot, but she's not overtly sexualized in that movie. She's awesome.
Example, James Cameron's female leads, who are his personal, weird, fetishized ideal of a soldier mommy. Those characters communicate to the audience that feminine means weak. They imply that what a woman really needs to do is be more like a traditional masculine.
You are taking everything here out of context. Holy shit.
Okay. I finished, and this is relating. I finished Alien Isolation the other day. The video game version, the video game sequel to the original Alien movie, right? There's a moment, the whole point of the game is to find the Nostromo flight recorder. And the last thing Ripley said before she went on ice in that escape pod was that she loved her daughter, that mommy will be home soon. And, she's trying to comfort her daughter, thinking this is the last message she may send. That is a really good female moment. That is a very nice female moment. She is a woman. She is a caring mother. And she will move heaven and earth to get back to her kid. That is what it means to be a mom, you stupid bitch. I know your ovaries are dead and you will never be one, but that's what it means to be a mom.
And in this scene right here, she's trying to rescue, isn't she
Rescue
trying to rescue someone?
Like, she's like, this is mama bear action. And it doesn't, right here, isn't that part of like being a lady when you have a kid? And also like, it's part of her whole character that she like wants to, like, she's sad that her daughter died of old age before she got back home, and now she's
precisely
going to help Newt out and make sure she gets out of this alive, because she's like a dog, like she's like, she sees her as a surrogate daughter.
That's exactly what's going on. Yeah,
I haven't even seen Alien 2, and I know this.
You really haven't?
No, I have never seen Alien 2. I just know what happens because I've listened to multiple podcasts about it.
We need to do a watch together for that at some point.
We need to watch all of the Cameron films too. Like in Terminator 1, Sarah Connor is just a regular average day woman that was thrown into the mix.
Yeah, I watched the Terminator 1 a while back. The only Terminator movies I've seen are Terminator 1 and Terminator Genesis.
Oh, yeah. Like I said before, A Genesis is a fucking mess, but my god, I kind of want to watch it again just because of how far insane that movie goes.
Yeah.
Hey, we should watch T2 sometime too.
Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep going, shall we?
Masculine dude, but not Lewis. When Lewis sees RoboCop, she
Oh.
knows right away that something is up with him because she's intelligent and doesn't need a whole sequence where we see her put the clues together. She knows her.
What is that a dig at James Cameron?
I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure what that's a dig at.
Like, because she needs the whole sequence to figure what's going on. Like, is she referring to T1, the part where Sarah doesn't realize, like,
I
is
don't
not
know.
buying?
Let's back up. Let's back up a little bit to see what she's saying.
James Cameron's female leads, who are his personal, weird, fetishized ideal of a soldier mommy. Those characters communicate to the audience that feminine means weak. They imply that what a woman really needs to do is be more like a traditional masculine dude, but not Lewis. When Lewis sees RoboCop, she knows right away that something is up with him because she's intelligent and doesn't need a whole sequence where we see her put the clues together. She knows.
Yeah, because
These two things are not like
These don't connect.
These don't connect at all. This is random. This is like Maggie. Like it's weird. I don't like Zack Snyder's filmmaking, but her videos on Zack Snyder are so freaking bad that like I have to defend Zack Snyder's filmmaking from this insane woman.
Do you want to know how she knew that was Murphy? And this is how I know, right? Because I remember the detail from the movie. It's because she watches RoboCop at the firing range twirl his gun in the same way that Murphy did. So she had to put the clue together when she saw the gun trick.
Shower you with attention. Is that code for something else?
Oh, God. Look at John here reading way too much into things.
You want to do a 20-minute video done about my relationship with Becca? You want to read into every message she sends me?
No, I'm just a dick who likes making bad, dirty jokes.
We need to spray him with a water bottle like Wolf.
Like a cat. No, bad. But in all seriousness, though, it kind of proves that before she did this, she did not rewatch the movie because that is a very not poignant, but a very important scene.
How can people get these movies so fucking wrong?
Yeah.
It is an accomplishment.
But you're freaking wrong! You're wrong! You're lying!
I will hunt you down and kill you.
Yeah. I use Becca seconds the water bottle push. Well.
Was her partner. She follows her gut. Lewis is all lady, all powerful. I mean, she delivers the final blow after her body is basically ripped apart because that's...
Wait, that's like a similar thing to the Cameron film.
Yeah.
I don't... Fuck me.
Just what a fighter would do.
Okay, but James Cameron's fighters are not? Okay.
Not only that, but Ripley is not a military woman. Like, I know we're going back to that, but she's
a trucker.
Essentially, she's a space trucker.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Speaking of her body getting ripped apart, this scene is clearly setting up Lewis to be the next RoboCop. Murphy promises her,
"They'll fix you. They fix everything."
A RoboCop sequel with Lewis and Murphy as buddy cop cyborgs would have been amazing. I love Lewis. I love their friendship. I love it all. The happy ending
pause for a moment. No, it truly wouldn't, because the dynamic between Lewis and RoboCop is supposed to be that, you know, he's sort of the enforcer and he's the bad cop. She's the good cop. That's sort of the idea. If you do the two RoboCop idea, it just doesn't work. You don't have anything to bounce off of.
Yeah, the dynamic doesn't work.
No.
It's very unbalanced when it gets to that point.
It exists because the corporation allows it to. Here's a weird thing to ask yourself. Who has true agency in the final climactic scene of the movie? Dick Jones is a rich guy with a big gun. That's a lot of power. RoboCop is a superhuman robot cop with a bigger gun. That's a lot of power. And yet, without his hostage, Jones is powerless. And as long as Directive 4 is in play, RoboCop is powerless.
My program will not allow me to act against an officer of this company.
In this moment, the CEO of OCP is both the subject and object of power. He's the object, which is held by Jones in order to exert power. And he is the subject who is able to end the standoff simply by speaking. By the way, I had to look up what this character's name was because I didn't just want to call him the old man, but that is literally his name in the script because RoboCop is a movie that's painfully aware of the patriarchy. Even as the
for
movie's
Christ's
climax,
sake.
it's not RoboCop with this super machine body and big boy gun who holds the power. If the old man does not will it, it can't happen. RoboCop kills the bad guy because in that moment, it serves the old man's agenda, which is pretty
Oh my
sick.
god, yeah, I forgot about this scene. Oh, that was terrible.
No, it's fine. It's 1985. It's fine.
It's just a wonky visual effect.
Yeah, it is a wonky visual effect, but it's fine given that, you couldn't have done much better. You really can't.
Fine, since the old man has been running this whole show and made all the decisions that led to tons and tons of people getting killed over the past hour and 45 minutes of this narrative.
But no, that's wrong because that particular I forget the guy's name. He's been going behind the company's back, making these backroom deals, and the rest of Omni Consumer Products doesn't know that.
It's dumb.
Indeed it is.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I echoing again?
No, you're fine.
No.
I'm just happy that we are just. I'm just happy that we can move on to more pedestrian weirdness.
I'd rather watching more of that stupid book that I want to shoot myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
you and me need to have a talk later, Dunn.
Oh, about what?
It's a future book to do a read through on stream.
Oh, what is it?
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Okay, cool.
The climactic
I'm
moment of the
worried
movie
now.
Yeah.
is not RoboCop shooting Jones. It's the old man saying,
Dick, you're fired!
but seriously, is RoboCop a trans icon? I mean, if there's one person who loves finding different ways of reading films, it's me. So, is there a reading of RoboCop as a trans icon? I think Verhoeven himself would probably say, hell yeah.
My wife picked up that script RoboCop and read it, and she said, yeah, this is perhaps not, it's not Shakespeare, but it is a script with more layers than you think. As I started to work with the writers, I picked up so many layers and additional elements, and I got really inspired by what was already on the paper, by extending that, emphasizing it, pushing it.
And special thanks to Carmela Morel for her personal and academic insight in this section.
Oh, so we have you to thank. Okay.
Verhoeven's cinematic grammar attempts to produce a gaze that identifies with women.
A gaze? Oh, great. That's that wording
It's
again.
the gaze again.
Instead of merely objectifying women. We do see characters within the narrative objectify women, but these acts of objectification are contextualized to us, the audience, as ironic, perverse, and absurd.
And you need lots of stimulation, Bobby.
Yes, I do.
We are watching these men watch TV, and we see them laugh harder than natural, as if they're performing that enjoyment. They cartoonishly perform cis-normative heterosexuality. The film satirizes gender.
Yeah, that couldn't possibly have anything to do with the fact that this is a 90s movie.
85, but yeah.
I don't know. It's just
to be fair, in RoboCop, it really does look like TV's gone farther downhill than it already has.
Rolls over and over and over.
Go ahead, shake his hand.
Come here often.
Showing a violent hierarchy where men aggressively assert their masculinity on those around them through violence and mocking laughter while holding big, phallic firearms. And amid this violent comic,
fucking hell, man. Phallic firearms.
I gotta tell you, until I bought my first firearm, I never felt like a man. But the moment I picked it up, I was like, oh yeah, this is what they meant.
You know, I was the same. I was like, oh, now I feel like a real white.
Was that yours?
Yeah. All right, let's. Yeah, that's totally true, Meg. All right.
Come here often.
showing a violent hierarchy where men aggressively assert their masculinity on those around them.
I mean, because RoboCop's a bit of a because everything's turned up to 11.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's really exaggerated. Although Fighting Expert may tell us that's not true, and this is actually what Detroit is like.
Oh yeah, maybe I should let him.
And another thing about it is this seems to be Paul Verhoeven's style.
Oh, it's very exaggerated, yeah. But it works in something like RoboCop. It like if the threat weren't as big as this, you would have no real use for RoboCop.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We're making good time though. We're halfway through and we're only an hour in, so we should at this rate we should be finished.
Oh, hold on. Give me a sec.
If Fighting Expert comes on, I am going to enjoy triggering by saying that Jar Jar is meh.
No. Oh yeah. When are we watching Phantom Menace, anyways?
Should be Tuesday.
Sounds good.
All right.
Violence and mocking laughter while holding big phallic firearms. And amid this
phallic. What the hell does that mean?
Phallic.
Dick shape.
Like a penis.
Representative of penis.
Phallic. What the fuck? Okay.
I have no idea why it's called phallic, and nobody else does either.
Literally, if that's the case,
man.
like almost everything is phallic.
Well, actually, go ahead.
I just triggered Fighting Expert in the chat.
but that's the thing, like that's how weak that philosophy is, because it's like phallic symbol. Well, everything, you can compare everything to a phallic symbol. Like the microphone I'm talking with, the pen I'm holding, this cup in my hand, they're all dick shaped. Dicks everywhere. Hell, the human body, you could argue, is phallic shaped.
My
sword
woman dog is phallic shaped.
Is a sword.
To be fair, George R. R. Martin is clearly using swords as phallic objects sometimes. So
that is not untrue.
Oh boy!
But yeah, to just say like, oh, these guns look phallic. This is a masculine
yes, it's a tube.
Shit.
It's a tube.
It's a tube, so it's masculine.
That's literally almost every gun.
Oh,
that's every gun.
Oh,
yeah.
Becca's getting all possessive in the chat.
She is.
You gotta give her a very nice date night.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, cute. Are you gonna give her a nice piggyback ride?
Oh no.
Why not?
You know what? She's a strong, independent woman. I'm gonna let her handle you. I don't need to step in.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gunn doesn't show up to his next stream tomorrow.
Well, I'm not having a stream tomorrow. I take Sundays off.
Oh, sometimes I thought you play your game.
That's usually Saturdays. I decided to move it to another day because I like you and you're my friend.
But not too much. Okay.
Not in a gay way.
Comic hyper-masculine hierarchy. We meet
hyper-masculine hierarchy.
Hierarchies are also in women, or haven't you heard of Lindsay Ellis and J.K. Rowling?
That's some kind of Sten-looking thing. Some of these guns in this movie are some I've never really seen. They're not really common in movies.
No, they aren't. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Through violence and mocking laughter while holding big phallic firearm.
Like that one he's holding, it almost reminds me of a trench gun, but it's weird.
That one's a shot. That's a shotgun. Like I know the one Becker is holding is a shotgun. I'm just not too sure of the type.
I said it reminds me of a trench gun because it has the heat shield.
Who cares? It's phallic.
Who cares?
Right.
The fact that it's so broad represents the ball sack, remember?
Yeah, and also it's coming out of his waist, so
out of his stomach, really, but yeah.
I guess this person is done.
I mean, it's around his leg. That means it's coming from his groin. Remember?
Well, at least it's not Tommy Wiseau who thinks that the vagina is somewhere around the belly button.
What?
Well, that's how he has sex.
Right.
So.
I have to watch The Room.
Yeah. Unironically, have you not seen the sex scene in The Room?
No.
It's hilarious. He has migrated all the way up to her belly button, and he's performing missionary sex, and it just looks like he's screwing her belly button.
God, this guy's fucking clueless, isn't he?
I almost spat out my water at that.
Now, to be fair, Tommy Wiseau might have a very impressive cock. I'm just saying. There is that distinct possibility.
He also might be an alien from another planet where that's normal.
That is true too, yes.
That is very likely true.
I'm already confused.
All right.
Let's keep going.
And amid this violent, comic, hyper-masculine hierarchy, we meet Murphy, a cop who begins the story desperately trying to perform cis hetero male identity.
What?
What?
John, the fuck you brought me in here for?
It gets worse.
Keep going.
Oh, are you serious?
In order to convince his family that he's worthy of the titles.
All right, fuck this. I'm so done. No. Okay.
No. I agree with this. You spend what is it, like 8 weeks at the police academy or however long it takes to become a cop. You clearly then go to become a baker.
Yeah.
Because no little boy has ever said, when I grow up, I want to be a policeman. No little boy has ever said that.
And also, there are probably little girls that say, I want to be a cop. I want to be like I want to catch criminals like Wonder Woman or...
Well, you're going to be very bad at it if you're going to try and be like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman...
Yeah, then you're more likely to rape people.
Yes.
Let's back that up.
Yeah.
A cop who begins the story desperately trying to perform cis hetero male identity in order to convince his family that he's worthy of the titles husband and father.
What the fuck?
Where did she pull this shit from other than her ass?
Father is not a title.
Her second ass?
Fuck off.
The one up front?
Yeah.
Too many brain cells have already died in this video.
What about the Maggie attack on the white stream?
This is getting
then
out of
everything
hand.
changed when the Maggie Nation attacked.
Yeah.
Where was done when the Maggie's West fell? No, when the whites West fell. God damn it.
Where was done when the white stream fell? I was right there when it happened. I was there.
I was watching with popcorn. It was hilarious. It's like watching Rome. It's like watching Rome burn.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I was thinking
You
watching
assumed that
Star
my
Wars.
streams were good in the first place, but okay.
I never assumed that. It wasn't so much Rome as Romania.
Damn.
Get wrecked.
I got wrecked in the bed.
Aw.
You don't want to disappoint him.
Did your mom? Was your mommy good to you?
No, she did things to me in the pyramid.
Yikes.
Jesus.
There was more than one reason why she locked us up in there.
She's the Westeros version of Christian Grey.
Oh, fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck Christian Grey to hell.
Yes, he's a terrible person who should have been.
For some reason, people fucking defend this guy.
Hey, we should finish the stream before booking by the expert gets here.
I was thinking that too.
I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say derogatory thing. I'm just gonna say Jar Jar's boring.
No, I just picture him just drifting like Tokyo Drift, like Need for Speed Tokyo Drift, and he's doing all these crazy stuff to get home real quick, and we just get the stream done. He's like, God damn it!
Well, he probably got caught up in a firefight, like on the way here.
Probably.
Man, the turret.
I love it. Water ball for done spray.
No, you need like a gallon of water on his door when he opens the door. It just fucking splashes down on him.
We see him spin his guns to impress his son.
Okay, he sprints his gun.
Okay, White. Seriously, you own a firearm. You tell me, have you never just spun it because you thought it was cool?
Yeah. I just want to break my fingers.
Yeah.
Because I have like a 22 revolver, and I'll do that. I'll just spin it around like a fucking cowboy because that is kick ass. And not only that, but let's face it, a dad will try to impress his younger son.
As long as the safety is on, it does. As long as the safety's on, it's okay.
Try unload. Try
don't have a round in it.
That too.
But seriously, like you cannot tell me a father would not do some silly tricks just to impress his son. Like any dad would do that.
Well, he's obviously doing it to look masculine.
My dad did a bunch of shit that was kind of mundane, yet me at 6 was like, "Wow, Dad, that's awesome."
Done. Mm-hmm.
You know, masculinity has really gotten a bad rap recently.
Whose respect Murphy hopes to gain by acting like the famous
Oh
tough
my
guy
God.
hero on TV. But this desperate attempt to claim masculinity is continually subverted by the narrative. As I mentioned earlier, there's a duality between Murphy and his female counterpart, Lewis, where staring into her face seems to be the key to reacquiring his own identity. On top of that, at the end of Act 1, when Murphy gets murdered, he isn't just killed. He is savagely attacked by a pack of men who penetrate his body with their long guns. In fact,
wait, stop. Did you hear that? Penetrate
his body with his long guns.
Was that a rape analogy?
Oh my
God.
That
Please,
I am
no.
convinced she made a rape analogy.
I won't contradict that.
It's because here's the thing.
We should go back. We should go back a bit.
Yeah, go back to that.
Seems to be the key to reacquiring his own identity. On top of that, at the end of Act 1, when Murphy gets murdered, he isn't just killed. He is savagely attacked by a pack of men who penetrate his body with their long guns.
Oh God, that's what you pointed out. What a sick fuck.
What a stupid. Okay, I'm sure you know this. I am sure you probably know this, but firearm damage, especially from a shotgun at that kind of range, is fucking devastating. Like, it will rip your body apart. And people, unfortunately, have suffered that way. And she is reducing it down to, it's a rape analogy. When a man has his arm shut off... Wait, hold on. When a man has his right arm shut off, up to the shoulder, his body is decimated, and then literally half of his skull is blown apart, and it's a rape analogy. That is disgusting to me. That is just more disgusting than anything she has said. Anything she has said thus far.
Yep. She cray. And she's kind of a bad person.
No, she is. she clearly is. She's a terrible person.
Yeah. She like unironically, like Smudboy has said, like, we are covering her once a month.
God damn.
Yeah.
Is that because she's too much to handle, or because she needs to be handled?
Because she needs to be handled. Like, he just like it create like her saying that like Lord of the Rings is clearly gay.
Oh
no, it's okay. No, it's okay. You can disavow her as not a woman. She's a harridan.
Dude,
she's
What?
an alien.
What?
She's an alien. Yeah, that's better.
What?
In fact, if we step back and take a look at the structure of RoboCop, it's modeled after classic rape revenge movies like.
Okay.
What?
No.
So I spit on your grave. That's what she's comparing RoboCop to.
Also,
What
Fucking
an
A.
There's gonna be another
absolutely
weird one.
stupid idea.
God damn. It's just holy shit. I never expected this to happen.
I wonder who's worse, Maggie or Anita Sarkeesian.
I want to say Anita Sarkeesian because she does all the same shit, but then she robs you blind.
Yeah,
Well, Maggie has a
Actually,
Patreon.
I mean, nowadays, Anita is just sitting in a little cave, coming out to get attention occasionally, and then runs back and plays victim.
Not off topic, but she actually did rob a indie studio, $15,000 recently.
Wow.
Very
so
recently.
She's far more damaging than Maggie.
She's a far worse person.
Like,
I spit on your grave.
I knew it!
The female main character is violated,
Your ass is mine.
then exacts revenge on her attackers one after another.
This woman will soon cut, chop, break, and burn 5 men beyond recognition.
In Murphy's quest to chase an external ideal,
You know, I miss 70s
ultimate
trailers. Those
tough
were
guy
nice.
cop, he is transformed by external forces into a cyborg, a hyper-masculine ideal, a form that the authorities have decided he should inhabit.
Well, he signed the release forms when he joined the force. He's legally dead.
Wait a second. Why is a cyborg a masculine thing?
I don't know, but what if it was a woman?
Misty Knight. Have you never heard of Misty Knight from Marvel Comics? She has a metal arm.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
it's
she
only a
does.
male thing. Shut up. You stop. Don't break the narrative.
What about
shit.
Android 18 from Dragon Ball?
Yeah, one of the most famous cyborgs in literature.
Yeah.
Right now.
Or Cyborg 009. Like, the series has several women cyborg.
I'm gonna have to ban you guys if you keep breaking the narrative.
That's just your opinion.
No, that's your opinion.
I'm pretty sure they are called cyborgs, and they are women.
That's your opinion.
No,
though.
I'm saying that if I'm saying that his saying that he'll have to ban us is just his opinion.
Oh.
Instead of just becoming the real man he thought he wanted to become, he becomes more than a real man. His new body is a construction of society's view of what Murphy's ideal gender representation should.
What?
Ideal gender
What in
presentation.
what in the insane world of Maggie Mae Fish's brain is this?
And he thought he wanted to become, he becomes more than a real man. His new body is a construction of society's view of what Murphy's
No, he's just a reconstructed guy in a robot body that they've magically put together. At the technology at the time, this just has nothing to do with the looks. I can't form coherent sentences. This is too dumb for me.
So White, just kind of remember this. These people are so useless that they have to come up with reasons to justify their own existence, if only to assuage their cognitive dissonance. And so they come up with crap like this in order to assuage their cognitive dissonance.
How sad of an existence is that? Like, seriously, how sad is it in existence that all you can do, you can't create anything. In fact, like I said, I don't think she can have children because who would want to get into that mess? You can't create anything, so all you have to do in life is make up your own shit based on other people's work. Sounds like an awful existence.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Ooh, wow.
Oh,
that is pretty damning.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing about the people who make these kinds of narratives, is that there's so many things in the movies or pieces of work that they're talking about that just put them in a very bad light.
I want to die now. Let's continue.
Ideal gender presentation should be. He becomes exaggeratedly masculine, as if he's granted.
Exaggerated masculine. He's a fucking robot.
And he's a cop. Just wait, it'll get weirder.
He is mechanical pistons and servo motors. Robots are a million times stronger than people. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
His
Just
wish,
wait.
but as part of a devil's bargain where he didn't quite get what he expected.
He
never
didn't quite
wanted
get what he
this.
expected. He was murdered.
Yeah.
In fact, if you, ironically, if you want to make the rape comparison, the creation of RoboCop was probably the better comparison. Just saying, like, if you want to,
human rights.
yeah. Ironically, probably the better comparison.
It's a techno
think he asked
version of
for this.
the Frankenstein. It's another retelling of the Frankenstein story.
Oh yeah, easily.
And that actually makes way more sense than the narrative that she's pushing in here.
Wow.
Like, literally,
funny
RoboCop as
explanation.
Frankenstein makes more sense than RoboCop as trans.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep.
He's
That's
transformed
because
into a
Frankenstein
bizarre
is
shadow
applicable.
version of.
That's because Frankenstein is applicable to anything. Trans is applicable to barely anything before, like, 2015 or something.
Yeah, just about.
Of his desired self. In fact, he becomes comically and ironically masculine. The gun he fetishized earlier as a symbol of masculinity ends up
fetishized.
replacing his genitals. His massive
what?
weapon is a
No,
massive
it's in his
symbol of-
legs. What are you talking about?
You know what
What
the
is this dumb bitch
wait.
talking about?
You know what the irony is? I'm pretty sure he. Wait a minute. That scene in particular. Look at the crotch. They are still clearly there.
Okay. I don't
Fucking
know.
hell, Maggie.
Yeah.
and ironically masculine. The gun he fetishized earlier as a symbol of masculinity ends up
He fetishized his gun.
No, he didn't.
He was showing that off.
Like,
No,
does this lady not know what fetishism is?
No, you think she would, but apparently not.
Well, the thing
She's
is,
only like a tier above Dave and Dan, I guess.
dude,
Boy, by 0.05. She
Also,
doesn't know the
like-
words mean.
Also, like, fetish is like her favorite word. It comes up like 25 times or something in her hour-long fight video, club video. That video is so awful. That took 9 hours to get through, I think.
Oh my god.
There's so much wrong with that.
I mean, when are we gonna get back to School of Movies?
Wow, I you know what? Maybe we could do that sometime. I need to find a bad one. I need to find a bad one that everybody can be like can rage at.
Force Awakens? Rise of Skywalker?
The Rise of Skywalker is actually funny because they're actually just surprisingly just forgiving of a lot of the crap in it. Which
I
is
mean,
so weird.
granted, I would probably rage more at the film than the review, to be fair, but
Yeah.
still,
Yes.
it would be funny.
Yeah, it's kind of just not. It's actually not really that funny. It's just kind of like, honestly, like their tone is just, oh, it's fine, and they're trying to like. It seems like they're like putting the best face possible on the worst possible outcome of the sequel trilogy for them, where
which was
actively crapping on. Well, actually, like they actually say delusionally that they think that J.J. Abrams is a great filmmaker who wouldn't take pot shots at Rian Johnson.
Oh boy, yeah. What is this fucking video?
Replacing his genitals. His massive weapon is a perfect symbol of masculinity in a society that respects hyperviolence. As a super masculine machine, he's even got a second phallus, the computer jack that protrudes from his knuckles. And yet neither of these phalluses functions.
Oh my god. Let's make it end.
Oh god.
I don't think he's here anymore. I think he left the building a while back.
Yeah. I sent fighting expert the fucking thing, but he's not showing up. Well, I guess if he doesn't want to show up.
Let's just continue then.
Actually.
No. I don't.
Yes.
No, we'll keep going until he shows up, and
They
then
aren't
we
just
can let him
non-sexual.
go berserk.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm like, I don't want to finish this video. God damn, this is terrible.
But violent
Don't
instead
go
of
as
sexual. RoboCop's lack of conventional genitals is even emphasized and played as a gag.
Did that guy really think that was a good idea?
Yes, obviously he did.
The thing is, that's not a good joke. It's not a good joke anymore. It might have been back in 1985, but
Wait, a nut shot is always funny. No matter
when they did that in Game of Thrones, I just cringed.
Oh, that's because it's inappropriate in Game of Thrones. Like in RoboCop, a nut shot is fine.
Yeah.
Don't be acting all high and fucking mighty. A nut shot is usually fucking funny.
I think that the main problem with Game of Thrones is because like it's just like, wait, his balls are still there. It's not his nuts. It's just his stock
Done.
removed.
Prepare yourself.
Oh no.
Jar Jar's lame.
Hey, Dunn, fuck you.
Yeah. But going back to my point, even Castlevania the anime had a nut shot in it, and when it didn't work, the guy said, "Please, this isn't a bar fight. Have some class."
Yeah,
See,
that right there, I fell in love. I'm like, finally.
See, a nut shot is always fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You have your gentleman's fight, then you have your brawl.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a gentleman's fight, no nut shots. But if it's just your regular fight, then nut shots are fine. Why do you think in karate we have something called a cup that it's mandatory to wear during sparring?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I know what that is.
Yep.
Yeah, I've trained martial art too.
All right, so let's keep going with this nonsense.
Murphy's flashbacks also problematize the masculinity he hopes to achieve. These flashbacks show Murphy struggling with his new hyper-masculine identity.
What?
Oh my god.
This just proves that this woman is not human. She doesn't understand the simplest of human desires and emotions. Either that or she thinks men are incapable of them, in which either case she is a fucking monster.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier in the chat, that I can take her argument and say clearly that what she is implying and saying is that being transgender means that you're lying to yourself and life is a lie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's something that's forced upon you, apparently.
Yeah.
You know what the most disgusting thing is when you think about it? You know there are people simping for this woman.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's because the people simping for her can't even have sex and don't know what a true, genuine woman is, so they have to aim this low. because that's their only chance.
Yeah,
And
she
even
has-
that
how many
chance
anyway.
subscribers does she have? 100,000.
Let me check.
I think it's over 90,000. I know.
They would probably don't even know where to put it. They're probably putting the belly button.
108K.
Oh, fucking
You
hell.
know, I have to break it to you, but for context, my sister's Japanese, and like talking with people from Japan, it's quite interesting when you hear some stuff. But the whole belly button thing, yeah, that's apparently a massive fetish in Japan.
Oh, for the Waiso thing we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I found her Rambo video. It's Rambo plus the Straight Story, Veterans After War.
No.
I almost said the Lord's name in vain. Fuck you, Don. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do
for
my
which
annual
thing?
"fuck you" done for.
For which one? I've done multiple things that are deserving of that one.
Well, I guess all of them. That'll make it simpler.
Mating in a visual metaphor where he passes through a female body.
What?
Gotta be fucking kidding me, mate.
No, I remember I know what she's talking about, but it's still retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Are we now talking about transitions?
No,
Oh,
watch. Literally keep playing. I know what she's talking about here.
Like frame transitions are now fucking read into way too deeply. Are we kidding? This is what we're doing now.
At the midpoint of the film, Murphy's goal changes from the desire to become this hyper-masculine figure that his son and society wants him to be to answering the question, who am I? In the next beat on RoboCop's journey of self-discovery, we see a world-class husband mug on the counter, but it's shattered, as if someone has violently rejected that title. And we now...
What?
Oh,
fucking hell.
It's like someone literally took a shit and said, study the shit in order to get a degree in film school.
Well,
that's
what it is. Like I keep saying, postmodernism is for insane people and dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she is quite the bitch.
Dogs.
And that's a lot of people in film school as well.
Yep.
And film critics.
Yep.
Okay, I actually kind of forgot what she said.
But it's shattered, as if someone has violently rejected that title.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to make an aristocrats joke right now. Only instead of aristocrats, it's film critics.
I probably wouldn't even get the reference because I don't know what that is.
No, it's a pretty common joke where you make like a list of really awful, really disgusting things, and then somebody asks, "Oh, what's the title of this story?" The Aristocrats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, this is so fucking stupid.
It is.
He rejected his husband. No, he died and almost died and was.
No, he did die. He flatlined. They literally brought him back to life, Frankenstein style.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, back in the chat, someone needs to take her side and tell her that most people aren't actually thinking about masculinity and femininity. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Most people just have views on it. And then they don't need to think about it for incessantly for years upon years.
Take it from a survivor. Film school as assessment of stupidity.
Yes, it is. I was in a film school too.
It's so
Also
funny
the
to call
fact
yourself a
that-
survivor of film school.
Pretty much everyone now that goes to film school just says they're just admitting to the world that yes, I'm stupid.
Yeah. You can't make
And
the
we
argument that like you could get like some like legit like some training and some technicals, but yeah, there's some stupidity in film school.
Even with training and technicals, and people go, a good movie has this, this, and this. No, it's just honestly stupid because they're parroting stuff.
Well, I mean, like in terms of like not going over budget, not like knowing how to frame a shot properly, that sort of thing.
You know, Game of Thrones type of things, what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's shattered, as if someone has violently rejected that title. And we never see who shattered it. And then we see this photograph from Halloween. Murphy's son is in costume, but the parents are not. Or are they? Murphy is performing the role of cis male hetero husband. That is his costume.
More of this. Come on.
Here, let me reduce this to a less complicated phrase. It's called a fucking man.
Honestly, I would love to. Well, no, I shouldn't say this because YouTube might get angry. But honestly, don't take this out of context, YouTube. But honestly, I would love to see how she handles Detroit nowadays.
She wouldn't take 2 steps into that city.
Who would?
Me, because I'm a Detroiter.
Oh, that's sorry for your loss.
Poor you.
Yeah, I moved out of it, so.
Yeah. As everybody should, until they fucking fix that place.
I won't get the Democrats out of office.
It's not gonna happen.
A witch.
I completely missed what she was saying.
That is his costume. And floating over his shoulder, a witch.
What? Now you're reading way too much into this.
That at play.
Grotesque female form haunting him.
Okay. No.
Oh my god.
No. And more no's.
It's like... It's basically what I had a conversation with people earlier on Anomaly's server. How I've pointed this out multiple times where have you noticed that like Hollywood and especially Hollywood animators have been forcing sex into children's stuff for like the past, I don't know, 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same thing. These people are so deprived of healthy relationships that they reach drastically. And using what I've learned from school so far to become a therapist, I can tell that she has something in her past which is making her reach this deep for comfort. It's a coping mechanism she's using. But sadly, that coping mechanism is just making her stupid and is giving us a laugh.
Yeah.
Only after we see
sorry.
this Polaroid do we see the Halloween flashback for the first time. Murphy's wife appears to carve a pumpkin.
Far better than what I could. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Except she's not carving it. She's tinkering with it, holding the carving tool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maggie, you have never carved a pumpkin before. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, she hasn't.
As if she's constructing something. Constructing an identity out of a pumpkin.
No, that's a knife.
No!
You stupid bitch. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my!
This is called reading too much into things.
She
This
is
is the whole
because
video. She's been reading way too much into things.
has she? Well, clearly she hasn't, but I'm still going to ask. Has she gone to the store and seen pumpkin carving tools? They
No.
look like freaking screwdrivers.
Oh yes. Oh, I can't wait till Halloween again. I want to like cut. I like the seeds. Like you put them out and you cook them, and you put them with salt.
Which is better, Halloween or Christmas?
Shut up.
Christmas.
Halloween masturbation.
Christmas for the win, baby. You get more presents.
Depends. What kind of family you live in.
True.
I like the atmosphere of Halloween. I like the spooks. It's far more entertaining, except for when you have to go to work and all the costumes are all on the floor because the people are fucking animals.
Wait, what? Does your work have like orgies or something?
He works at Walmart.
Yeah, soda's done. That's the last time I checked.
But I live in a Walmart. I work at a Walmart in Utah. We're the most boring people ever. For the most part.
Try going to Walmart 3 a.m. in Michigan. You get some crazy stuff. Worse than Florida Man.
I
imagine so.
Yeah, we had some crazy people there. I'm just talking about like, every day we go back there during Halloween time, and just the floor in the costume section. That there's just costumes on the floor everywhere.
Okay, let me put this into perspective. So, guys, let me put this into perspective for you, just to save everyone's sanity. You have the Florida Man, you have California, then way above that in sheer craziness and horror, you have Walmart 3 a.m. in Michigan.
Yeah.
Literally, there was a lawsuit that happened in a Walmart a couple miles from me because, you know the whole no shirt, no shoes, no service thing?
Mm-hmm.
The whole premise was, well, I'm wearing boxers, that should be good enough.
We had a homeless
You'd expect that to be in Florida, right?
We had a homeless woman that tried to enter the store without a shirt. And we had a naked guy run through the store also.
No, but I'm talking about like a close to 300-pound fat man with tiny boxers.
I'm surprised he couldn't even make it through the door. Or without having all the items gravitate towards him because of the gravitational pull.
Wait, what was Movie Bob coming in? Did Movie Bob come in?
No, his name was George Mentfree.
Why would we put people's real names?
Well, reason being is because it made state news. And he was already wanted for not showing up for his court date for another issue. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Well, kind of depends. I didn't say I lived in it. I just say I work there.
Yeah, but my mental capacity is draining like so much that I didn't even show the work yesterday.
Aren't you so happy? It's so great.
Oh yes, I am so happy. I want to just end it all at any moment.
This foreshadows the way that RoboCop tinkers with his own head at the beginning of Act 3.
Okay, now she's just going out the fucking walls. It's just going whoa way over here, and we're like, where the fuck did she go? What the fuck? This is just insane. Like incoherent rambling. Like I don't even want to comment because there's just nothing here.
Drilling into his own mind and coming to terms with the loss of his past married life. He's constructing his identity. In flashbacks, we see that Murphy's wife is clearly upset about something.
I really have to tell you
Something was wrong with their marriage. It's fairly vague in the film, but with the themes of gender and identity so clear elsewhere, it's a fair way to suggest that.
No! How can you be this fucking wrong?
Yeah, they're so obvious that you needed to read way into this with 20 microscopes stacked on top of each other in order to find it.
How do you give
She had to reach far up her ass that it proves that the only thing back there is a black hole.
I was to say she ripped her own heart out. But
no,
then again,
because she has no soul and she has no heart. So how do you?
There's just like there's nothing inside her. It's just air.
It's a void.
Or maybe it's just a lump of porridge.
Because of Murphy exploring their gender or identity.
Oh my god. Is she not going to say? She's going to say something really stupid, or she's implying something really
maybe
stupid.
His wife was freaking out because, I don't know, it could be that their son found mommy's toys
Or she found porn in her son's drawer. It happens.
Or, you know, maybe she's pregnant with their second child.
Yeah.
Or he's a cop and she's afraid he might die anytime.
Yeah.
Nah, it's because he's probably cross-gender. He's probably sleeping with another guy or some shit. Kill me.
Maybe he wasn't being the man she wanted him to be. Before Murphy's death, Boddicker shouts at him,
Where's your partner? Where's your partner?
This can have two meanings. One, of course, being his cop partner,
Bullshit!
Lewis. But
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you that stupid?
Yes, she is.
How are you that? This is like that. This is like where Gendry the thought that Frodo was. This is
Frodo.
No, it's that one stupid guy that EFAP covered. I forgot his name.
Cinematic
Venom. Like, oh, good riddance. He let him rot. This is like the same level of stupid. Like, how did you? My head. I don't want to talk anymore. Just get out of here.
the other is his romantic partner. She is no longer there.
How are you so fucking stupid, you stupid bitch? Jesus Christ.
Best way to handle it is just don't question it. Let her destroy herself.
Indeed.
It's people like
she's
me.
Not going to.
Yeah, but sadly, it's people like me who become therapists, which is like, who hurt you?
Her dad.
You know, that is the apt
probably.
question. Who did hurt these people?
In this case, probably her dad. She has
without a
so many
doubt.
bad dad things.
Yeah, because generally people who freak out with like the whole dad role or whatever generally have bad relationships with their fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
later,
Jar Jar
when
Binks
Murphy
probably did.
It's actually pretty hilarious because according to Legends canon, which is the superior canon,
Yes.
Yes.
not Disney. Fuck Disney. Go die in a hole, Disney. But in Legends canon, what happened was that Jar Jar, well, his dad,
tried to
owned
kill himself.
Yeah.
I had that comic. I actually had that comic.
They owned a whaling company, and Jar Jar fucked up and sunk the ship, basically. So his dad's like, you know what? I'm just going to kill myself. And then his wife smacks him and says, don't you be a fucking coward. Don't leave me here with our son.
Yeah, who would want?
Son, please don't abandon me with him.
Yeah, please don't ban me with this awful person.
But Jar Jar is awesome. He's useful and an
Useless, you
idiot.
mean?
operating table, we see an image of his wife waving goodbye. And this can also have two meanings. One being that Murphy is dying and she is saying goodbye, except this is a memory. So it's already happened in the past. Maybe this is his wife saying goodbye to him as their marriage is ending.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Then why is she smiling like that?
Yay, we're not married anymore. I'm gonna wave happily. Are you so dumb?
Yes, she is, because she has no idea how relationships or people work.
Yeah,
the fact that I'm silent at this should tell you how tragic Maggie is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, she could have been so brilliant, but yet something happened and now she's this.
Mm-hmm.
You blew it. You had it all and you blew it.
Yeah, Jar Jar.
He has failed at living up to her hetero male ideals for him, just as he failed to do so for their son earlier in the film.
What the fuck? No!
I don't believe this bullshit.
Maggie! No! Stop it! Get some help. Don't go to California. Go to a more sane state and get professional help. you really need to see a therapist or at least a psychiatrist.
But they're going to tell her she's right.
No, that's why I'm saying go to a sane state like Texas.
Yeah.
No.
Because telling people that they're right even when they are so wrong, it actually leads to way worse things. And California, somehow they're able to legally get away with it, even though it goes against every single rule.
The law of the land doesn't exist anymore.
Nope. Nope.
Repeated at the midpoint, it's also clearly a different version of the memory, a different take. She conspicuously moves her arms in a way that's totally different from the other take, and her tone is softer.
I really have to tell you something.
Is this memory corrupted? Or is Murphy
it could have been two different
rewriting
memories.
his memory as a version where his wife accepts him for who he is? Then, after cutting back to RoboCop's
No. This just proves that she doesn't know. She doesn't understand people, because look at the body language. It doesn't mean that she's accepting them. It means that she wants to tell them something important. The way she's running, the smile on her face. Look at the way her eyes are squinting. It means I have something to tell you. I'm very joyous to tell you. Where in the first one, running up, the urgency, the way she's breathing, getting up in your face saying there's something wrong. I have to tell you this, even though I don't want to tell you this, even though this shouldn't have happened, I still have to tell you this. So Maggie, I'm sorry, but you are just showing how stupid you are. And I am sad to say this, but you are honestly so stupid. And I highly recommend that you go seek professional help with whatever is causing this mental gap in you. Please.
Fighting expert, let's be honest. She's never going to watch this. And even if she did, she'd probably just say they're just stupid. So there's no use telling her to go
we're
get help.
sexist, or we're transphobic, or we're homophobic, and blah, blah,
Which is hilarious, because I've been helping a lot of trans people through PTSD and depression. So fuck you, Maggie, if you try and say I'm transphobic.
That's probably what happened.
Yes, and I'm a cisgendered white male that's a Christian. So yes, fuck you. I have a Trump card.
Well, they'll just revoke it, so.
Also, like, since like you're marrying a man, you got definitely a bunch of progressive points, I imagine.
Series of shots that recalls the scene where Lewis confronted RoboCop about his true identity. We see a memory we haven't seen before.
I love you.
And unlike the Halloween memory, which is prompted by a photograph, this memory is new to us, unprompted by sensory input. This female face fills the frame, mirroring RoboCop's face. She says,
I love you.
Softly and sweetly, which is a pretty odd thing for a character to say in a Paul Verhoeven movie, known for being melodramatic, satirical, and cynical. If, as this series of shots suggest, she is Murphy's mirror, then symbolically Murphy is saying,
I love you.
to himself.
No.
What?
No.
You just said this was a memory.
It's
So,
point
hold
of
on.
view.
Hold on. It's the Kylo Ren thing where he forgives himself.
Damn.
Yeah, honestly.
Fuck that
But
shit.
no, if she went to film school, then she would understand the context of point of view shots.
Yeah, unironically, yeah.
So therefore, it proves that she didn't go to film school, that she's lying about her degree.
Well,
Or this could make sense because film school is trash.
That too.
yeah.
Let's
In
continue.
the female identity he's been desperately resisting up.
What?
What? His female identity? Fighting expert, explain.
Where do I start? Like we're going to be here for an hour.
His female identity. I
You
feel
got
like
a
this
minute,
came out of
go.
left field.
Okay, so clearly she's projecting, which that's an obvious. Anyone can tell that. Secondly, no, it's not a female identity. It's the fact that he is looking at the identity of himself before he died and the identity of looking at himself after he died. He's trying to figure out who was this man that I have the memories and people say I have the identity of. It's basically the amnesia effect, like the Bourne Identity, like all the Bourne movies. It's just like, who the hell am I? It's not trans. It's just
a person.
Yeah.
Who's lost his
And I
memories.
would argue that this makes the film. Okay, so no offense to trans people, but I would argue that this makes the film better because that's applicable to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Continuing.
Until this point in the narrative, we cut back to RoboCop, this masculine robot, now shrouded in darkness. The next time we cut back to the wife, we, as Murphy, enter her mind and pass through her body. This female face or
It's a transition between shots.
It's a transition shot, yeah.
And also, like, I've literally had people who are trans talk to me and say, like, honestly, I'm getting annoyed with, like, oh, like, you can only relate to this person because they're trans. They're like, no, fuck no. I'm done with that. I relate to a freaking guy character or girl character that we share the same struggle with, not just because we're trans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're being a bad ally and a bad trans person then.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Head or mind is a passageway into something else, into an empty home, a blank slate, or a new beginning. Then, as RoboCop continues,
By the way, didn't she just say that he was supposed to pass into her? Because that visual is completely at odds with the corridor that he just came in from.
Yeah.
a man's face on a computer screen asks,
"Hey, have you thought it all over?"
"Have you interrogated your own identity?" After passing through the
No!
compassionate female face,
I don't need-
RoboCop
No, he
smashes
he doesn't
his
pass
computer
through
eyes,
it.
neck and eye.
Have you
No,
thought
masculine face.
that was a
symbolism.
masculine face?
So is RoboCop simply the story of a cop whose body is destroyed and then rebuilt as a machine? Or
Yes.
is it the
Yes.
story
Yeah.
of a person whose marriage was already falling apart? A person whose son has already questioned their masculinity?
What?
No one. Oh my god.
His son who
No.
questioned his man. Okay, I missed that. Was that a thing?
No. She
No.
just made it up.
Yes.
Person who attempts to become the epitome of masculinity and ends up embracing femininity.
Okay.
What?
No.
Why, by being
Oh my.
castrated?
Because what
Honestly-
the thing is, what does she mean by femininity? Because there is this pervasive, what to say,
She
misconception.
doesn't understand shit about femininity, so don't even try asking what she means.
It's also like so many people misattribute femininity to being female and masculinity to being male. It's like
Oh, did you see this part?
those two are not binary, okay?
By the expert, did you see this part?
Oh, the phallic guns? Yeah.
And heroes. For example, James Cameron's female leads, who
Mhm.
are his personal, weird, fetishized ideal of a soldier mommy. Those characters communicate to the audience that feminine means weak. They imply that what a woman really needs to do is be more like a traditional masculine dude, but not.
That's not even
What?
true. That's not even true.
No, what it shows is like, okay, you have women that are badasses, but they can still like help people cope.
Yeah, it's like Ripley doesn't go down to fight. You know, the fight with the alien queen in Aliens, one of the most iconic scenes in that entire series. Like, that's not motivated by, ooh, look at me, I'm so machismo or some bullshit. It's about saving Newt.
Mhm.
Indeed.
It's the mother's instinct.
Yeah, the mama bear instinct.
Well, no, that doesn't exist in Maggie's world. It's only male masculinity.
Maggie would leave her child to die in a fire.
If she has
Probably,
any
yes.
children, which
Like I
honestly,
said, her ovaries are dried up. I've said this multiple times.
honestly, if she does have any children, if even adoption, somehow, we need to call Child Protective Services.
Oh, it's going to be a miserable existence.
I mean, don't you have to pass like certain requirements in order to be eligible for adopting someone?
Certain requirements where, honestly, I'm joining a couple people, but some of the requirements now is also having to go through just a mental check.
Story of a person whose marriage was already falling apart, the epitome of masculinity and society and corporate embracing femininity, a person who navigates their own identity while society and corporate America violently force a hyper masculine ideal on him, a person who, after being forced into a constructed metal body, rejects the product name and programming that's been forced on them, a person who repeatedly identifies with women.
No.
What?
How?
He's just partners, workplace partners with a girl. That's not the same.
It's like, is anyone gonna say that Judge Dredd is about, and not Judge Dredd, but just Dredd from 2012?
Right.
Is anyone gonna say that that's like a trans movie because Dredd has a female protege? It's like,
No, you can't make that comparison.
No.
Guys, we gotta face it.
Or maybe the fact that, like, Dredd is gay, just going off of Maggie's logic.
Sorry, Becca, you're British, so you have to relate to Emily Clark's Daenerys, so you're gonna go insane.
Nah, Daenerys is blonde. She doesn't need to relate to her.
There are times where it's times like this where I hate the fact that I am taught how to pick up on like social or like cues from people's movements and like the way they talk, because it's just like, what happened to you? I can tell that there is something so wrong in Maggie's past, and it's just like
Maggie wasn't the one who said that they. No, Maggie wasn't the one who did the Obi-Wan Kenobi Padme was cheating on Anakin with Obi-Wan.
That was Maggie.
No.
That was Maggie.
That was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
then, like I said, and I've said this before, that woman has a lot of daddy issues then, and she is projecting hardcore. And it is my professional opinion, as an accountant, my professional opinion is that she has major daddy issues that does not allow her to have a fulfilling relationship with anyone because she's afraid to commit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's really hilarious when you look at it.
Oh, it is hilarious, yeah.
Women, girls, they actually learn how to socialize and how to form committed relationships based off of their father. It's not the mom, it's actually the father.
Yeah, kind of the reverse Oedipal complex.
Mm-hmm.
Which is finished the rest of this. Oh, damn it.
It's you. To wrap things up, Camilla Morel writes, cinema is very good at expressing universal ideas, which gender is not. Since one's own gender is so internal, personal, dynamic, and not often entirely understandable or consistent. Where transgender viewers often feel the most seen is in body horror and sci-fi films about robots and aliens. Transness on film isn't lingering genital shots and staring sadly at one's own nude reflection. It's processes. It's the horror and abjectness of wrong body and the turmoil and excitement of transformation. It's the physical, mental, and emotional complexities and contradictions that can be plumbed much more effectively by both filmmakers and audience with symbolic and allegorical means instead of literal ones.
Okay, pause. Go back. Pause. Go back to that.
No.
Go back.
No, I'm done.
Why to go back? Go back.
We're just beating a dead horse at this point.
No, like this will just Wait, you can just shut off your brain, take a break. I'm going to break this down so you have content for your stream, okay? So you can just take a break. So transness on a film isn't lingering genital shots and standing sadly at one's own nude reflection. False. That is no. Even if a film critic or a film scholar says it is, no, is that goes against anything that, because if you want to bring that point across to your audience, you have to connect to them emotionally. How do you do that? You have to show a struggle, not with looking in the mirror or transformation of just like bodies or whatever. No, you have to show a struggle in their own personal life, how they talk to people, how they interact with society. That's how you do it. Now, going on to the next, it's a process. It's the horror and objectiveness of wrong body and the turmoil of excitement of transformation. That is half true. It is half true. But what these people do is they take the half truth, convince themselves that what fits their idea is 100% true, and then run with it. They run with it, where it's just like, no, you missed the point, that it's a half truth, where, as I said earlier, that you have to show the struggle in their daily lives and how they connect with society. That's what the second sentence is saying, and that's how the second sentence is half true. It's the physical, mental, and emotional complexities and the contradictions that can be lumped much more effectively by both the filmmakers and the audience with symbolic and allegorical meanings instead of literal ones. Okay, what I would say is get rid of the symbolic and allegorical, because it does shit nothing. It only harms the meaning that you are trying to send. If you want to say, like, yeah, this person is transitioning, then you have to show it. You have to show the physical pain in order for them to understand that they're struggling mentally. Because once you see it, you will literally, it will click in your brain like, oh wow, I have sympathy for this person. There's something wrong that this person is trying to fix, but they can't. That's how you do it. And now, like, when people go, oh, well, what about symbology and allegory? No, shut it down, stop. Take your script, throw it in the trash, light the trash on fire, and then just dump it in a lake encased in concrete. No, you just don't do that. That is not how you get the point to your audience. Now, if you want a bad movie that is full of symbolic and allegorical meanings, look at The Last Jedi. Because guess what? The symbolic and allegorical meanings are shit ton everywhere, where it does not have one strong meaning except failure. And what can you pull from failure? Oh, this movie is a failure. So yes, Last Jedi shit. Whoever wrote this is shit and probably doesn't have a real degree.
Yep. I would not disagree with that.
Alright, who is entertained by that?
Carmilla Morel. That was the person who wrote this. So
another like bad movie that has like that's attempting for symbology is The Cell.
I never even heard of that.
Same.
It's a movie where this serial killer dies and they are trying to find their victim because they think that they might be still alive, so they dive into his mind. It's really like artsy fartsy, like weird psychedelic imagery. It's got Jennifer Lopez and Vince Vaughn in it, and Vince Vaughn is playing a cop, but he's not getting to be funny. So
You know, some other movies that have bad symbolism, Zack Snyder's DC movies.
Yes. Sorry, I should have.
The Superman
right
Jesus thing.
Yes.
Oh, what must I sacrifice? Literally a stained glass picture of Jesus right next to his head.
Okay,
Oh,
so
God,
hold on.
stupid.
Hold on, I looked up the person that's in the at the bottom of that, Carmilla Morel. And here's what it says. I am a transgender woman, 25 years old, earning a master's degree in media and cinema study in Chicago while working full time. So no, this person doesn't have a degree.
And therefore a fake one. So I was right.
Indeed, you are very right.
And I pulled that off of 3 sentences?
Mm-hmm.
Also, this person wrote something about it's all full of crap about transsexuals, like representation of monstrous transsexuality in the Frankenstein films.
Oh no, that is like some screaming monsters type shit right there.
I am tempted to buy the book and start just dissecting it to show how wrong she is.
And I know this is the right person because it has her appearance on the RoboCop thing we're watching right now. So this is the right person.
So I took 3 sentences from whatever she wrote with this and proved that she has a fake degree.
In Castlevania Season 4, this whole thing about
the hermaphrodite body.
Yeah, the hermaphrodite body. Not giving any spoilers. That's a plot point. But
yeah, but it does make sense when you.
That does not make Castlevania into a
trans
series.
Yeah. But when you actually look into the study of alchemy and all that, yes, that's actually what they were aiming for. Which alchemists are weird. I recommend professional opinion and just moral opinion. Stay away from alchemists and alchemy. Unless you want to be absorbed into a cult and then just lose your sanity, don't go into alchemy. It is fucked up, and people there are fucked up. They have issues. Don't get issues into your life. Be sane, be sober, be a member of society.
Okay.
Be just a good person.
I think we have lingered on this a little too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's finish this.
So let's just finish this off.
Allegorical means instead of literal ones. And honestly, I wouldn't be so adamant about this reading if I hadn't just watched Verhoeven's Basic Instinct, which is a story of a woman who literally needs to hide her phallic object to avoid persecution because society doesn't approve of her personal relationships. You don't have to read RoboCop this way, but if Donkey Kong can say
done right, okay.
Why not add RoboCop to the mix? Thanks for watching, and a big thanks.
He did not actually say that. I'm gonna guarantee it.
Let me give you another quote from Donkey Kong. Not funny, didn't laugh.
Yeah, not impressed.
That was awful.
I told you. Didn't I? I told you it'd be great content.
Well, at least I hope I saved your guys' sanity with my,
No, my brain was already fried before that.
My sanity.
Do you need some therapy?
No.
My sanity went away a long, long time ago.
My sanity never existed.
Oh, I'm still very much sane. I just know that these people are freaking retarded.
You know, the only thing I found interesting about this whole video is that Donkey Kong speaks.
and not only that, but he's not. That's from the rap, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Though one thing that is hilarious, if you guys want to know, is one thing that you're taught when becoming a therapist is how to pick up if someone is faking a mental illness, because you have people that say they have PTSD for whatever reason, SJWs. They claim they have PTSD, but really they don't. And so your job is literally to counsel them so they realize, oh, I don't have PTSD. I'm hurting people by taking up your time so you can't get to them.
That would imply they could do self-reflection, which is funny because if you ask me, the biggest issue right now is we have a society of literal sociopaths.
Yep.
My teacher was able to get like 10 SJWs to self-reflect, and they're no longer SJWs, which that's hopeful.
Because like a lot of the like I think like activism like appeals to like kids because kids have a overdeveloped sense of justice, but then they realize, wait, there's really no legislation that can be passed. It's mostly just individual crazies.
Yep.
That are the problem at this point in time. Like, there's pretty much like no legislation that you could possibly pass to give everybody equal rights because we already have gone as far as we can there.
We are the country that is the most free.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
And yet America is fascist for some reason.
Damn.
And literally, what I say to some people is, have you traveled to other countries?
Yeah.
They're probably going to say no.
And it's hilarious listening to some of these people's responses when they say no, and like, do you know what life is like in another country? And they're like, no, it's actually quite interesting because a lot of the things that you say you want that you can get in other countries, it's actually horrible for you on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
Well, even
trafficking is a thing all over Africa.
Yeah.
Also, child soldiers.
Also,
we don't have
like
that here, and if it is illegal, and we try to crack down on that crap
immediately. Yes.
Wait, we do? Hold on. Shut it down! Damn it!
Yeah. Also, the fact that like when people want, like, let's say free healthcare, look at Canada and their free healthcare system. It takes years for them to get anything done medical wise.
You're not supposed to tell us that.
I'm a therapist.
As well as what else is there? Like a non-capitalist economic system where, like, because you have you have a state mandated wage no matter what your profession is.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what motivation do you have to be good at your job? You can just go to your school and say, hey, I have this diploma. I'm not terribly good because I don't get paid very much to do this.
Well, the way they did that, the way they fixed that in Russia is either you were good enough to get into college or you got sent to the coal mine. So, But here's the thing. In the U.S., they shut down all the coal mines because of greenhouse gases or some bullshit. So you can't even threaten people with that.
Yeah. And also, like, with me, so I'm a blue-collar worker, but I went to college for my job. I had to study, get certified in order to do the stuff I do. So, like, I put money into education for my job. I get paid $15 an hour.
Oh, fuck.
Should a person that flips burgers that can be pulled off the street and taught that in like 15 minutes get the same pay as me?
I mean, I work. That's actually funny because I get paid $15 an hour for working overnights at Walmart, and I'm just stocking shelves.
I get paid $18.50 overnights.
I get paid $20.
Yeah, well, you're an accountant. Yeah. But like, with my job, I am specialized. I work on parts that go to the thousandths of an inch. That freaking SpaceX buys.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, I have to be certified. I have to prove that I can do my job. But yeah, like apparently $15 minimum wage is a good thing for people who just. There are a lot of people today that just don't want to put the work in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with my history degree, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, going a bit back to the whole activism point, it appeals to a very superficial kind of change or justice, if you want to call it that.
Well, it's appealing.
It's like put more black people in movies. Okay, we're still gonna treat them like shit, just like in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
The problem is they're looking for that. And wow, we have gotten so far off topic from just talking about stupid woman to actually dissecting the problem. The problem is it's a lot of instant gratification. They want that immediate gratification to be able to say, I helped someone, I'm a good person, when in reality, these are all some of probably the worst people on the planet, if not the universe.
And also,
is like Joss Whedon is a feminist, remember?
Yeah. And also the fact that it's just like the people that are the most social justice about something are really the guilty ones of whatever they're claiming.
Yeah, this also relates to cancel culture, where they want the immediate gratification of telling somebody to bugger off of Twitter. Like, that happened to Lindsay Ellis. Admittedly, she made her bed, so she had to lie in it for a few minutes, and then like she came back and probably nothing's gonna happen to her.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, the reason she got dogpiled on Twitter was like so tame.
Yeah,
she made like a comment about Raya and the Last Dragon being generic.
And it probably is. I haven't seen it. I refuse to pay it for anything from Disney.
Sail the High Seas done.
I'm not even interested in seeing it because I get the idea that it's cringy and stupid. And
well, here's the thing. My fiance, who lives in the Netherlands, she owns Disney Plus, so pretty much like.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were. Oh, dang. Okay.
No, but it's just like she bought it, and then I just get access to it. Also, I get early access to some stuff as well, which is hilarious.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said you were marrying a man earlier. I thought, but I misread one of your texts in Discord earlier. I thought earlier or something.
Dad, get wrecked.
Sorry, I missexualized you. I am so sorry. Please forgive me.
Go back to your coffin, Dunn.
You know what, Dunn? I hope someone breaks into your house wearing a Jar Jar's mask and then just bones you the whole night with their 20-inch dick, like The Room.
Jesus.
Probably not going to happen. We don't really have that kind of problem.
Or maybe shove one of those Jar Jar candies into his mouth and force him to eat it in public.
Well,
you meet the goods that like it.
Well, the funny, we're probably gonna make so many enemies on the fandom ministry because we're not gonna satisfy either side of the aisle.
Well, if you have good critiques, then fine. I'd rather have good critiques than just like a lot of idiots on EFAP.
Well,
and
what like critiques on EFAP do you not necessarily agree with? Was it like Glib and PSA Sitch, or was it Mahler and Rags?
A whole lot of them. Pretty much when you go back to when Rick and Noms were debating Stitch and Rags, it's just like they couldn't understand basic context with the Phantom Menace, and it's just like, how can you be like this dumb when like it clearly.
I haven't watched Phantom Menace in a long, so I can't comment.
I watched it for a discussion on Smut Boy, and kind of like my main critique is kind of like weird structuring of the of the plot and kind of. It's not that the
And also, there
politics-
are a bunch of times where information should be delivered, but it isn't. So something that would have made sense doesn't.
Yeah, and I don't agree. I actually don't necessarily agree with the critique that like the politics are immediately bad. I disagree with that critique. I would say that more the placement of and the way that the politics leads into the climax is bad, more than the just kind of the fact that like nothing it kind of just stops for the politics, and then kind of the politics doesn't function into the rest of the film.
All right, well, that can be. I can see your point. I will take your point. I will debate with you respectfully on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, yeah, I can see how, like, you could have a problem with that. But, like, with Regs and PSA Stitch, it's like, Noms brought up a...
I think it was Glib, not Rags.
Yeah, it was Glib. It was one of
Glib.
I haven't
Like-
seen that AFAB in a long time.
Glib. Oh, man. It was just so stupid. Like, Noms brought up a valid point of just, like, how do we know the rebels in A New Hope are actually the good guys? How do we honestly know that? And then Glib said, what are you, unironically pro-Empire?
Don't mind my pro-Empire flag.
With that one, I think, like, it seems as though it's like it's kind of mainly because we see Vader being a jackbooted thug. I think would be.
What about the
main
fact
thing.
they blow up a planet like immediately? You blew up a celestial body with people living on it.
It's kind of like that.
Also,
It's kind of like
like-
that remarkable Republican video.
It's
The
talking
Empire's actually
about,
the good
like...
guys.
Hey,
They blew up a planet.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
Before, like, the whole Death Star became operational and blowing up Alderaan, it's just like, how do we know they were bad guys? All we know is that they could actually be chasing dangerous criminals like SEAL Team 6 does. That you could easily frame U.S. Special Forces taking down bad guys that are disguising themselves as civilians into evil, horrible people.
That's exactly what my book, Battle of the Seven Suns, is going to be about. It's basically about an empire cracking down on a rebellion, and the empire are the good guys. Or at least they're the protagonists.
The thing is, if they didn't do, you could have done that, but that was clearly not the story Lucas wanted to tell. He wanted to tell a clear good guys versus bad guys story. That he wanted it simple.
I mean, they make it clear in like the opening crawl. Okay, the Empire has made.
Yeah,
a weapon
and
that can blow up
also
planets.
they make it clear in like the Phantom Menace in the opening crawl that there is something horrible going on with Naboo and the Trade Federation. So Chancellor Valorum secretly sent 2 Jedi to try and figure it out and to fix the problem.
See, that's where my problem comes in, because the movie doesn't actually establish that it was done secretly. The EU establishes that it was done secretly.
Well, it's established in the opening crawl, but with a lot of PT haters like Glib and PSA Stitch, they don't read. They have purposeful amnesia to say prequel's bad.
I guess, like, they're pretty easily identified as Jedi Knights, so I guess it's not terribly too secret.
It's not terribly secret. Yeah,
Yes, but
I mean,
sending
that's a larger issue.
Yeah.
The act of sending. They probably should have gone in disguise. I guess. And
Well, there's a difference. Like, so again, like, let's say that the U.S. tells each citizen, or, well, even, well, better context. Let's say the U.S. government, just going off of what a lot of people here know, how the U.S. government works, let's say a branch of the U.S. government always tells, like, oh yes, I'm going to send this special third-party operative team.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. I gotta run. I gotta get to dinner, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. So let's say they always tell, like, the rest of the government branches, yes, I'm sending this special third-party operative team to settle this dispute. But then the one time that it's just like, okay, the government is just heavily debating, I'm just going to go behind everyone's back and then just send the team and not tell them. Even though the team is still geared up and you can tell that they are the third party specialist group, it's still sending them in secret.
Well, why does it necessarily need to be secret, since the Jedi are technically part of the Republic? Like they've been they've been consistently part of the Republic military for thousands of years.
Yes, but how would we really know that just going off the movies alone without the original trilogy?
The idea that the Jedi are part of the Republic, you mean?
Yeah. Because what a lot of people seem to forget is that they are taking what they know already from the original trilogy and then basing the prequels off of that, where really I explained this to one of my friends, that a lot of ancient mythology, and especially how Hebrew is written, is A plus B plus C equals C plus B plus A. What goes in must come out in a reflection. Whereas how English and modern stories are told is A plus B plus C equals D. So when you look at the prequels, it's clearly the A plus B plus C. Then the original trilogy is the C plus B plus A. Prequels shows how the Empire rose. Original trilogy shows how the Empire fell.
Okay. Guardians of Peace and Justice in the Galaxy. Okay. I guess it is pretty vague. I guess like they're trying. Yeah, it's kind of the issue with kind of like how George like put them out, I guess.
Well, it's not really an issue. The way you can see is that, so George clearly wanted to give the whole story, but because of his budget, and he said, literally, because of the way the technology currently is, I have to start with in the middle of the story.
Yeah, and it's just kind of I kind of like, unlike somebody like Rian Johnson, like I actually like think that George Lucas is kind of like a Guillermo del Toro type, where they're both visionaries, but I kind of in some way I question George Lucas's tastes in a lot more ways than I would question Guillermo del Toro, because it seems like George is kind of just trying to replicate like the old like cinema movies from his youth, but not fully understanding that in some ways we've moved past those movies.
Well, I think movies. I think a good movie in general is universal in a lot of ways.
I mean,
but I think
the acting. I mean, in terms of the acting techniques.
But no, also, again, like to bring a point up is that with a lot of film critics or with people that analyze and they do all the stuff with film, it's that they are so focused on the modern day, where it's just like, oh, we've moved past like this way of acting and all that, where you can see it in a lot of like film documentaries with like Netflix and all that when they talk about like the whole samurai, which like honestly don't watch it. It's terrible. It's not historical whatsoever, even though it's claimed to be.
Wait,
It's
what
just,
movie are we talking about?
Netflix has a documentary show about like the rise of the Japanese Empire with samurai and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's horrible. Don't watch it. It's basically someone obsessed with anime decided to make a documentary and then just based all their historical facts off anime.
Didn't you know that the Japanese sword's like a literal lightsaber? It's a super
Fuck
weapon.
off. But yeah, it's just like with a lot of film critics and all that, it's just like they are so focused on the modern day where it's like if you want a good movie that like shows like the heavy tones, you have to take a step back and you have to go back to those styles of acting just to get the tone right, to get the message across. Like, yes, this is how extreme it is.
True. One thing that I would argue though is that like George Lucas didn't necessarily replicate the acting style he was going for like on a technical level that well, even when you use that as a bar. I think he's definitely trying and he's a good guy, but I think that there's just certain like things that he just wasn't able to do just because like his skill sets lie.
He's the king of wooden dialogue by his own admission. It's like that doesn't change that the dialogue is wooden.
Well, yet again, like a lot of people, like let's look at a Marvel movie. How many people actually enjoy like some of the dialogue?
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I've only seen like 3 Marvel movies, but
okay, but why?
Because it feels human.
Okay, now let's look at like how the Jedi work. They are basically monks of a religious order, so they wouldn't have like your average person dialogue. They would be more disciplined, more controlled.
But everybody talks the same. Most people generally, it seems like most of the people in the prequels talk the same.
Well, yet again, we're only looking at like politicians and Jedi.
Well, politicians and Jedi, that's a bit of a different field. I mean, granted, Jedi are trained in politics, but...
Yeah, but also, like, look at how politicians, like, of course, like, American politicians, like, everyone's being stupid there, but let's look at, like, British Parliament, how they talk and treat and how they act in public.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people seem to forget that, like, George Lucas also pulled a lot of the examples from, like, Britain and other countries. It's not just America.
Mm-hmm.
So when you actually look at other countries, you're like, okay, yes, this actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe I'll like change some of my perception after I watch it. I'm not sure. I kind of like I don't hate these movies like a lot of people seem to. Like I enjoyed watching them as a kid and I still to a certain extent enjoy watching them now. But it's just I can't fully like get into a lot of aspects of them because it just feels weird to me.
All right, that's fine.
Like I don't like kind of like I think that like if I would much prefer a bunch of movies like the prequels because they're a lot more interesting than a lot of like the run of bad movies like Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier is just awful.
Yeah.
It's like the prequels. They're kind of like, funnily enough, they're kind of like the Hobbit movies. It's like when they're bad, they're sort of a generic bad instead of the atrociously abominable bullshit that we get today.
Yeah.
Well, yet again, like when people say they're bad, like sadly, a lot of people just like parrot RLM, Plinkett, and all that. Where it's just like,
yeah, I would agree with you that there are some of Plinkett's takes are not necessarily very well thought out. I would agree with you.
Most
there.
of his takes.
I think the problem with the whole RLM thing is that we have a bunch of criticisms that aren't really all that substantive that ended up being calcified by their extremely popular videos on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
And then those arguments are pretty easy to refute. But the thing is, once you come back, there's quite a few substantive issues that have not been talked about as a result.
And I really am interested to kind of talk about this, just kind of in terms of like as films, like try and do a more balanced take, and just not say, oh, these are terrible. It's just like, no, there's good elements. Like I think that Qui-Gon Jinn is a pretty good character. I just think that like they could have done more to kind of establish him as more of a rebellious cowboy type Jedi, because that seems to be what he established. That seems to be what like they're framing him as, but he doesn't necessarily act that much like a cowboy Jedi.
And to counter that, I would like to say it goes back to like a lot of people want the here and now way of like styling, where it's the definitely show, don't tell, where there is a way that the showing is telling.
I mean, in terms of like how it's like kind of, it's just mainly just like
I think the best way to look at it is that all of film is a combination of showing and telling.
Yeah, where it's that you have this guy, like, yes, it shows that he is defiant, rebellious, but at the same time, he still holds the core value of the Jedi. But at times, he does bend the rules because, like, yeah, that's just what he does.
I mean, like, in terms of like the Jedi Council is telling, like, it's said often that he's defied the Council multiple times, and it's
and in a way, he's just saying, you know what, Obi-Wan, listen to me, fuck the Council.
Yeah, and honestly, like, the Jedi Council is like kind of an unhealthy way of living. Like,
they're also really dumb in the prequels. Like, holy shit, because the plot into stupidity is through the roof.
And that is what George was trying to show in the prequels. Like, the Jedi became more of a dogmatic religion, where it's like they allowed, through their sheer stupidity, the Sith Lord to take office.
Well, the thing is, I think the whole, that's the point. I don't think that excuses plot-induced stupidity. It's like, in The Last Jedi, the whole
Ryan Johnson, whatever he thought, it's completely wrong, because like, even though it's like, oh, the Jedi's stupidity, let Sidious take office, like, no, everything you just said is wrong in the wrong context.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, we can definitely agree on that. And on that note, I imagine like Mr. White needs to go back to finding his lost penis.
No, I was gonna say, well, first we're gonna have to end this stream because we've just been rambling on for like an hour or 30 minutes. So we'll see you guys later. And for episode 5, we're gonna not do Maggie, because I'm not gonna do Maggie multiple in succession.
You want to do Wit and Folly?
I don't know what that is.
The throne womb.
Why? I just
bring me on for that one.
It's basically how The Last
you
Jedi
guys
is a perfect
later.
journey movie.
Say goodbye to nobody. Bye, nobody.
Bye.
Bye.